Welcome to this edition of the Mayor's Report for Livermore. I'm your host, Splendorio. Joining me today is Mayor John Marchand from that incredible city of Livermore. Welcome, John.
You got that right.
Yeah.
Welcome. Glad to be here.
Okay, John, let's talk about you. I know you have some things you want to talk about at the top of the show. What do you want to share with our viewers?
Well, first off, we had the Livermore Half Marathon was this last weekend. And people literally from all over the country and all over the world came to Livermore. We had over 4,500 runners in the half marathon. Then we had the 5K and the fun run with the kids. But we had over 30 states. We had runners from there, and as far away as the UK, that they came in. They heard about from everybody flying in for the Super Bowl, so they had to see what all the excitement was about. But we opened up the new parking garage, the L Street garage, Christmas Eve, and we had enough parking in the downtown. So we had 4,500 people that were runners, and I rolled up about a half an hour before the starting gun, and I found a parking space. Now, we maxed out. The parking garage was full, and we've got smart parking, which is kind of fun because you can actually go onto an app before you leave your house and find out where there's parking available. And there are these little discs in the garage that tell you where the places are parked. And so as you drive up to the garage, you can see what floors have parking, how the number of spaces, the number of ADA spaces, or the number of electric spaces, and it's cool. I mean, it really the technology is an amazing thing, but you can find out where you're going to park before you leave your house.
That's great. Oh, okay, so did a lot of these runners stay in downtown, have a little breakfast, brunch sort of thing? Did that happen quite a bit?
There was a festival afterwards, so they came over the finish line, got their banana or apple or whatever, got their glass of wine or beer, and then there were vendors out there and they wandered around, but I heard from some of the businesses downtown that there was a big bunch of folks that decided to stay in the downtown and have lunch and enjoy the rest of the day shopping.
Oh, that's great to hear, John.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to share with us, our viewers?
That was it. But it was just another one of these great places where everybody comes together because Livermore is such a great place to be. That's what they want to share it with their friends.
Yep. No, it's a great event. Great event. I've run it in the past myself. Let's talk about a story that's been in the local news quite a bit: the removal of wine grapes around the South Livermore Valley wine country area. Why are they being removed? And like I said, there's been a lot of concern of residents regarding the removal. Perhaps you can clear up a few misconceptions, perhaps, about what's happening.
Certainly. Okay, so you're a vineyard owner and a grape grower. How old are your vineyards?
Well, I pulled mine out in 2002, 23. I can't remember what the last year was, 2003, because they were old. They were all getting to 30 years old, and they were slowing down. And also, the winery I work with wanted different varietals. So we decided to revitalize them by pulling them out, and we planted in 24, so they'll be on their third year this year, but they won't have any grapes this year, but hopefully 27 should be a first harvest. So yeah, there was a market reason, and also just that the fact they were getting old, slowing down. The cost of production remains the same whether you get 1 ton per acre or 10 tons per acre, and you'd rather get a few more tons to offset the cost.
Yeah. Okay, so you heard it from the expert. So this is the very reason why is vines. Now we have vines that are producing here in Livermore that are over 100 years old, but as you pointed out, their production begins to drop off, and same amount of work. You got to prune all the vines, and you want to be able to get as much from each vine as possible. So the fact that the vines are aging, palates are changing, tastes are changing. Years ago, everybody wanted Cabernet Sauvignon and Chardonnay.
And Merlot. Yeah.
And so now our tastes are changing. They're evolving, as it were. So a lot of people are going back to the wine that originally put Livermore on the map, and that was Sauvignon Blanc. And Cabernet Franc grows very well here. So it's a combination that the vines are beginning to age out. But on the other hand, there's a root louse called phylloxera. And so periodically what they'll do is they'll allow the soil to go fallow for a year or two so that it knocks down the root louse, so they don't continue to propagate, they don't have anything to feed off of, so they die out. And it also gives the soil a chance to recover. So there's a lot of reasons to allow the soil to go fallow and to pull out the vines. Now, from my perspective, that makes me really nervous because these are difficult times for the wine region right now. But we have to ensure that there's a reason for people not only to pull out the vines, but to replant them. So the reason you're going to replant them is that somewhere along the line you're going to make money. And so it's a significant expense to replant those vineyards. So you've got to make sure that the demand is there and that you have the infrastructure necessary to sustain that agricultural and tourist economy. So we need to have a hotel. We need to have the sewer line go down Tesla so that those medium-sized wineries can come in here and open up tasting rooms. So there's a lot of moving pieces that we have to have in place to ensure that the people that are growing the wine have a market and they've got the infrastructure that they need to market and to sell those vines, those wines. So I'm doing what I can. I've ramped up my consumption of wine, and we had the San Francisco wine competition that we had, the SF Chronicle competition, the biggest in the country. Livermore Wines took best in class in 8 categories, and we walked away with 239 medals. So it just shows that, yes, we are producing excellent quality of wines. We have our wine heritage district. So we've got, we're upping our game. I mean, we were the first winery in America to win that gold medal from France, and we're continuing to produce world-class wines.
So John, if you're going to look in the camera and tell our viewers, what can they do to help the Livermore wineries, and that would be go visit them.
Buy more wine.
Buy more wine.
And visit the wineries. Tell your friends to come out to the Livermore wine region and share one of the best secrets that's out there.
All right, John, let's thank you so much. And let's talk a little bit about a property called the Quint property. Mm-hmm. And the city is proposing to transfer it to the Park District. Tell us a little bit, where is the Quint property and why does the city own it and why is it transferring it? Okay,
so most people know where Frick Lake is. It's on the eastern edge of Livermore, the northeastern edge. So it's west of Frick Lake. It's north of the Altamont Creek School, north of the Garaventa Hills project. It is slightly east of the Alkali Sink and the Garaventa Wetlands Preserve. So we already own some of the land up there, and the idea is that we acquired this. It was about 40 acres plus or minus of open space, purchased with about $1.6 million of open space funds from the Altamont settlement. And this is one of the interesting things. So we purchased it using open space funds. And people think, well, great, we'll keep it for open space. And yet in the downtown, I know I'm kind of making a quick shift here, but in the downtown, we bought the site for Eden Housing using affordable housing funds. And but there's been this long protracted battle over, well, you don't have to use it for affordable housing, but yet there's no discussion about, well, we bought this land with open space funds, it has to be used for open space. We use the funds for affordable housing. We have to put affordable housing there. It's the same sort of thing. But because the park district is already out there managing some of these areas, it just makes sense that you would have the park district continue to manage that site. Now, the city of Livermore, we own a number of park sites. The Cayetano Park is a good example. The city owns the land under Cayetano Park, but the park district manages it. It's a matter of being more efficient with the staffing and the resources that we have. So it just made sense. When we purchased the site, it was with the idea that, yeah, we're probably going to hand this over to the people that are good at managing parks. And that's exactly what we did. So it's going to be long-term management. They're going to do it. The city helped acquire it.
All right. And so bottom line, better management of the open space, and it's going to be kept in open space forever.
Absolutely, in perpetuity, and that's a long time.
All right. Thanks. Thank you so much. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back on this edition of the Mayor's Report for Livermore. Welcome back to this edition of the Mayor's Report for Livermore. We're here with Mayor John Marchand. Welcome back, John.
Good to be back.
All right. There is going to be a really interesting event later this in March that's sponsored by Innovation Tri-Valley called Energy Unleashed, and it'll be at the Bankhead Theater. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about this conference, this event, what it intends to do, and show our viewers all the innovation that's happening right here in the Tri-Valley?
Certainly. So it's March 31st. It's at the Bankhead Theater, as you pointed out. And Livermore is the first laboratory, the first city on Earth to have achieved nuclear fusion ignition. And what that means is we have the world's most powerful laser. And using laser inertially confined fusion, we took 192 laser beams, 40 centimeter square laser beams, focused them on a pellet of a hydrogen isotope, and raised the temperature to over 100 million degrees, 1 billion atmospheres of pressure, and the hydrogen compressed until it converted into helium. It literally changed the elemental state. We created a star here on Earth. Right here in Livermore, we created a star. We were the first laboratory in the world to achieve that. And so this just seems to be a logical place where we would investigate expanding this fusion ignition. This is the holy grail of energy. And so we're bringing some of the top experts in the world to Livermore to talk about this unleashing this energy, this almost having an unlimited supply of energy from water, because hydrogen is part of the wall, H2O, right? It's 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen. So how do you unleash that? And that's why it's called Energy Unleashed. We're bringing top industry officials, we've got scientific leaders, we've got nonprofits, and how do we reduce the barriers, federal, local, state, and how do we remove the barriers to let people that know what they're doing run with this technology? It's very exciting. And for example, as I mentioned, the National Ignition Facility, when that fires, when the NIF fires, it creates 300 times the energy that's on the American grid. Think about that. 300 times the energy that 350 million people in the United States are using. And when that fires, it creates 300 times that energy. We have the world's fastest supercomputer. We have assets here in Livermore that exist nowhere else on Earth. So that's why Energy Unleashed is being unleashed here in Livermore, because we're the ones that actually made it happen. And so how do we continue to keep that momentum and to keep the focus on Livermore as we continue to build this industry throughout the region and throughout the nation and the country and the world?
So John, tell us why it's important for Livermore to be the center of this energy, innovation, technology. Yes, the lab has started with fusion, but there are others out there. There's using hydrogen or battery technology and things like that. Why is it important for Livermore to stand as a center of that innovation?
Well, we're the first ones to have ever achieved it, and so everybody else is going to follow our lead. We were the first to do it, and so as we continue to lead that technology, how do you scale that up? Yeah, we've done it a half a dozen times, but how do you scale it up so that you can achieve it not just a couple times in a year, but multiple times in a second? So this is going to be the focus of Energy Unleashed, is how do you ensure that Livermore, because we're the smartest square mile on earth, how do you maintain that leadership in that industrial role? And I would encourage anybody to come to this. It's going to be an exciting program, hearing from the top experts in the world. You can go to Visit Tri-Valley and get more information, but it's going to be March 31st at the Bankhead Theater. I will be there, so it's going to be very exciting.
All right, great. So I think it's Innovation Tri-Valley is hosting it, and March 31st at the Bankhead Theater, right in downtown Livermore.
Innovation Tri-Valley.
Yep. All right, John. Okay, now we're going to talk about something that's been in the news the last few weeks, and that is BART and its struggles and how it might impact the Tri-Valley. BART recently announced that they're a proposal to cut service to the entire Tri-Valley. Give our viewers a summary, why, and what can we do to avoid that? Okay,
so BART has a $370 million budget deficit. Now, this is nothing new. We had the RM2, Regional Measure 2, Regional Measure 3. A large percentage of the Regional Measure 3 money went to bail out BART. During the pandemic, you may remember that the ridership for BART just fell off the cliff, and BART's response was hiring more people. Now, most of the time when your revenue drops off or your income drops, you don't expand the business. The idea is you find places to cut back. Back in 2018, when we were talking about bringing BART to Livermore, there was the idea that Livermore was going to be one of the only net revenue positive stations in the entire system. So we were actually going to make money for BART. And BART said, well, when your house is falling apart, you don't build an addition on the house. And that was how they justified voting against bringing BART to Livermore. Well, the fallacy of that was, yeah, you don't build an addition on your house, but this wasn't their money. It was my money. And if I wanted to build an extension with my money, that was going to ensure the fact that they would have additional revenue coming in from the Livermore station. Now, Livermore was originally in that station. We were originally part of the original plan, and but there was never any capital funds. We've always been paying the operational funds, but there was never any capital funding put up for it. Now, what they're asking us to do right now is to pay more for a service that we do not have. And that just kind of rankles me. And so now we're also trying to bring in Valley Link. And Valley Link could be the saving grace for BART by connecting the mega region, by connecting people from the San Joaquin Valley to BART and to the rest of the system. We could be bringing in thousands more riders a day. But if they shut down the Tri-Valley stations, then there's no reason to extend any of this, because yeah. So it's extraordinarily frustrating to be asked to pay more for something that we don't have, and they've got these two different strategies now, that the Connect the Bay ballot, so that they're hoping that passes, and then this if the measure fails strategy. And if the measure fails, they're going to cut 63% of the BART services, including 15 station closures and the discontinuation of services in the entire Tri-Valley. Well, they need to look at where their revenue is coming from. And we provide a lot of revenue for the BART system. They need to focus, have targeted operation cuts, because when you've got a lack of service, when you've got a lack of ridership, you don't expand the service. And they haven't been really, they haven't shown good sense when it comes to managing the budget. You know, as I said, they keep spending more and more money, and most of us, when we're faced with revenue cuts, we have to cut our services. We have to find ways to economize, and they haven't done that.
So John, if some of our residents are first hearing about this, what can they do, if anything, to convince BART that cutting ridership or stations in the Tri-Valley should not happen?
Notify the BART board. Say, we are a critical link. You know, the blue line goes from the Tri-Valley to San Francisco. That's a critical link, because there's a lot of people that live here that work elsewhere. So they need to contact the BART board, tell them that we don't want to continue to be ignored out here. If you remember a while back, they were talking about building housing on the parking in the Pleasanton station. Once again, cutting off the service from Livermore. So they need to tell the BART board how important Livermore is, how important the Tri-Valley is, and that we cannot be forgotten.
All right, thank you, John. Now let's cover any upcoming events that you have going on in Livermore.
Okay, real quick, we've got the March 18th. We've completed the draft general plan update. There's going to be an open house at Robert Livermore Community Center in the Larkspur Room. That's going to be March 18th, 6 to 7:30. The general plan update. The Livermore Library is excited to bring in Ann Parker, the author of the award-winning Silver Rush historical mystery series, and they can join Town Center Books owner Judy Wheeler, and they'll be talking about the book series, the novels, the writing process, and the history behind the stories. That's going to be Thursday, March 19th at 7 p.m., and that's going to be at the Civic Center Library. And then finally, Coffee with a Cop. That's going to be on March 18th at Target on Las Positas. And these help make that connection between the police officers and the public. So,
thank you so much, John,
certainly,
for being here and updating us.
Yep.
And thank you for watching this edition of the Mayor's Report for Livermore. Join us for the next episode of the Mayor's Report right here on Tri-Valley TV. I'm Splendorio. Thank you so much for joining us.